Alright, it's a video blog. I'm gonna talk about two things, man. I'm gonna talk about my hair, as in my culture, as in personally, and then I'm gonna talk about race. I'm gonna first start out talking about race. To me, there is no race. When you look at it, we're all one people. Just like Martin Luther King said, we're all the human race, correct? So why is it that we're classified as different races? No, if anything, we should be classified as different cultures. Culture meaning, from different places of the earth where you're adapted to. Why is my skin brown? Well, through the years or down back from where my roots come from and my genetics come from, in Africa, to say that's where they say we come from, it's hotter, right? So of course your skin absorbs more heat, so it, from the sun, so it darkens. You ever notice when you get in the sun or you go get a tan, of course you get darker. If you ever been in the cold, you go to Alaska where it's 6 months cold and 6 months dark and 6 months light. You have brighter, your skin pigment has no reason to get darker because it's not absorbing as many UV rays. Correct? If I'm wrong, post me back. So it's not a race, it's just the humans who have been, strategically, in different areas and different places of the world where we adapted to our surroundings. We adapted, to Africa, we adapted to Europe, we adapted to Iraq, we adapted to different places of the earth. So that gives that pigmentation. So would you call anybody that was from Iraq or something like that that has a pigment of mine black? They're brown, So if they're not black, then how is that possible? Because just because we're brown, we're black. That's another thing I don't understand about any of it. People continue on with race, and it's funny to me because I don't see race. I see, of course it's you think of it because that's what you've been taught when you're younger. That, oh, that's a black kid, that's a white kid, or whatever. But truth be told, we're all one people. We all bleed the same. We all hurt the same. If someone's child dies or someone get hurt, you still feel the same. It's all the same. You break a leg. You don't break a leg different because you're black. It's still that. You still have the same. Everyone has a heart. Everyone has this. It doesn't change. When you look at a dog, you're just gonna put it that way. When you say a dog, yeah, it's different kind of dogs. No, it's one dog. It's a dog. Now, you have different names for different dogs who adapted to different areas of the world. Like you have you say snow dogs. Well, hey, those are dogs who, in their genes and genetics, has grown and has their bodies has adapted to being in the cold and the snow, which means they need to grow thicker fur. Correct? Otherwise, they freeze to death. You think that your Wawa would survive in Alaska? Not at all. Not never. Snow dog is able to. You had a German Shepherd, say they're from Germany. I'm not sure. I've never been to Germany, but, they adapted to wherever they are. You got Great Danes, you have this. But at the top, it's still a dog, just like humans. At the top of the chart, it's called humans. Now, we as humans, we break our own self down. Why? I don't understand why, but we break our own self down and we call ourselves, this is Hispanic, this is Mexican. Well, only reason why you say that that's a Mexican or that's a white person, or whatever. Matter of fact, if you want to call it, why is everybody but white people? Which, like I said, I don't really see ways, but if we're gonna identify, why is it that we call everybody but white people different? Like, we're African Americans, you have Hispanics, you have Iraqis, you have Arabians, you have Alaskans, you have whatever. But when you look at white people, it's just white. Like, they came from nowhere. We don't call them Europeans. If they're white in America, we just call them white. As if, they're just number one. That part gets me every time. But hey, like I said, I don't understand why we continue with race and all other things. Second topic is my hair. As an African American, I love my hair. I love my locks. I keep them. I try to keep them neat, so I don't look horrible to myself, because personally, it's a personal experience. I mean, appearance to me. How you look, uh, I've been asked multiple times, would you cut your hair? I'd be like, no. People say, why? I say, because I don't feel like there's no reason to. Well, they say you limit yourself to lots of different opportunities, with jobs and things like that. I say, well, if I'm limited to it, it's not because of what my hair looks like. It's because whatever I'm going after, either they have hatred, or they don't want to look at it themselves, or whatever, or either it's just not completely meant for me. I'm a believer in God. I mean, if he led me to one thing, he could lead me to another. Now you have the kind of people, oh, he said don't be stupid, and it's not being stupid. It's like you're being judged by someone else when we're not even supposed to judge upon anyone, because he said, woe to the man with no sins, cast the first stone. If you have no sin, cast the first stone. Comment, let me know if you cast that stone, because I can't cast a stone to no one. I can't even cast a stone against myself. So we're being judged by someone else on appearance, not for my core values. If your first time look at me and you see my hair and you say, oh no, you don't know what I have to bring to the table. I can make you the richest company in the world. Or I could come, I'm architect major, so I could have the best design that you ever seen this side of heaven. But if you gonna limit yourself just because of my hair, then you miss out on that. Then the next man gets it. See? Then that comes back to the point where it's not meant for me because of of God's placement in my life. And I don't understand, we're the only race of people. And I like I said a few minutes ago, I don't feel like it's race, but I can say it just for the people. We're the only race, or the only culture, should I say, that has to conform or change to anything to say even get a job. We're the only people. When you look at black women, I had a lady tell me, she was like, well, I know when I wear my hair in a curly state and in a natural state, when I walk into a meeting, they don't see me the same way, and they don't look at me the same way. But when I wear my wig, I look that different, and they can accept what I'm saying. That's a big question mark to me, because it's like, do you not accept what they're saying in the meeting because of what their hairstyle is or the way they look? Because the meeting is, if you're in the meeting, then apparently you have input and output. So do you receive what they're saying because of it, or are you blocked out because of what you see in their appearance? Good question, right? So I say, why wear the weave? I understand sometimes, there's people who have hair loss or something like that, whereas it's needed to wear some hair or whatever. I mean, not everyone wants to walk around bald or whatever. But I don't understand the need for, extra eyelashes and all the extra this and the extra that and the weave. Be happy and wear your hair the way it is. Now, if you're happy the way it is and you have no problem with presenting yourself the way it is, but you're just doing this for personal, not for someone else. If you're putting in weave, or if you're doing that just for personal reasons, by all means, go for it. But if you're doing it just to please someone else, I think that's downgrading yourself, because then you're conforming, and then now they have a control. Now, if you get to the job, okay, well, we need you to, change this or change that. Okay, that's fine. But you're not thinking down the line, if they can get you to change that, then every time, they don't like something about you, then they're trying to change you to fit their thing, what they want you to do. Now, say you get the job, you've been there for 5 years, they didn't tell you had to cut your hair, or me. Say I had to cut my hair, or I had to cut my hair, change the way I talk, or either I had to lose some weight or gain some weight or whatever, whatever the situation may be. I've been there 5 years. Now they let me go. Now I'm fixed in a frame of what they want, right? Now, will the next company don't want me without hair, or don't want me with, with all the extra or lost weight or whatever it may be? Now what? I'm stuck, right? Because now I'm conformed to one person or one company, and I'm, you know what I'm saying, I'm already, they've already taken over and made me who they want me to be, as if I was a doll or a toy, or I'm a puppet. I'm not a puppet. You know, I live my life and I do it the way I need to. So, long story short, I don't understand, you know, why we're the only culture who have to do these things. I don't see anyone else, you know, any other culture. When you see, I don't want to, you know, other cultures who wear turbans or who wear the red dot right there on the forehead, or, you know, the ones who wear the mask things, whatever. Different cultures do different things, or they talk certain way. Why is it that, you know, it's against the law or the rules to talk slang, correct? Which is an African American culture. You know, it's a culture thing between black people, or I don't want to say black, but, you know, black people, you know, that we talk slang. But you know, Hispanics can speak Spanish in public, you know, at work, on the clock, you know, any other language is acceptable but ours. Once again, we don't want to conform. Then you have, you know, where different, you know, you can't walk a certain way, you don't say this or say that, you know. Then you got the guys who wear the pants down. Now that's a whole different, you can't just judge that up on us. It was African Americans, our culture didn't just come up with that at all. That was somewhere, who knows where it started. They say it's the jails, but it's something that's a fad. I don't do it. I don't knock the next man who do it. Do I think it looks appealing to my eyes? No, but if that's the way that man wants to walk around, then that's the way that man walks around, because he doesn't have to answer to me at the end of the day. He has to answer to God. Nobody else. Nobody else. Now, him walking around with his pants down, will that, you know, people perceive him different ways? Yeah. Me with my hair, people perceive me differently. But until you get to know me, until you talk to me and find out who I am, you won't know who I am anyway. I don't care if you speak to me and find out my name, you know, with my hair off. You know, I can not have hair and I can be the worst person. I can not have locks and be a killer, but you'll accept me because I don't have dreads. It's quite crazy, you know, but hey. So don't stereotype just because of hair, or, you know, or say pants sagging or something of that nature, because that typically doesn't identify who the person is right off the jump. Get to know people. Whole point of this is get to know people, find out who people are, and think outside of the box of what you always been taught, because not everything that you've been taught has to be the way it is, because truth be told, someone else created English. Someone else created the dictionary. You know, we just follow behind someone else who done it. That's just it. You know, that's all we're doing is following. Now, create your own. That's where you get set across from the next man. You know, Bill Gates did it. You know, Steve Jobs did it. You know, Steve Jobs created Apple. He didn't want a PC. He wanted something better. He created Mac. Why not? Hell, why follow behind PC and just be a part of him when you already know in your mind you can be something better? Be better. So, video blog for today. Holla at your boy. Holla at me on Twitter at Mr_J. Peace.